This Monero Matteo video is sponsored by Cake Wallet. Safely store, send, receive, and trade your Monero on Cake Wallet on Android and iOS. Monero Bro Battalion reporting for duty. It's an honor to be here with you gentlemen here tonight, the Monero Bro Battalion. Roll call. I mean, guys, we've been ready for this, have we not? There is a day coming up that will live in infamy, and it is a day that will really determine what is going on at these exchanges. If we get enough people involved, we've told you guys forever to take your Monero off the exchanges. Very, very important. But more specifically, we've been talking about some of the shenanigans going on at some of these exchanges. That could be going on, allegedly. We don't know for sure, but we're going to check. Where it's speculative that these exchanges have all the Monero that they say that they do. We don't know for sure. It could be that they're selling Monero that they actually don't have. And because people don't take their Monero off the exchanges sometimes, which if you're a Monero bro, you take your Monero off the exchanges. You know what to do. What they can do is they can just take that Monero and sell it to somebody else and continue to reap profits until maybe at some point people get very interested in Monero, which more people are getting very interested in Monero, in which case people start to take it off the exchanges and they don't put it back, which means these exchanges then have a deficit, and then they have to do certain things like, I don't know, freeze your wallets and prevent you from taking your Monero off the exchanges, and maybe preventing you from buying it on the exchange altogether, making it so that you can only sell the Monero. All this is very, very strange, and this is something that we're seeing continuously on exchanges. And so what's going on is we're doing a little bit of an audit check, I guess you could say. We're encouraging people to take their Monero off the exchanges. Now, I don't give investment advice. I don't tell people to buy Monero. I never have. Although I guess you could say we've laid out a super hyper mega bullish case. How could you not buy it after listening to this channel? But we never tell you investment advice. But what I do recommend, guys, is on the 18th, you go take your Monero, whatever Monero you have, off the exchanges. Get it into your possession. Get it into a place where it's safe and secure, because it's not safe and secure, evidently, on these exchanges. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today. But it is a very important day coming up, April 18th. Mark it on your calendar. It is the last day of tax season. Thank you, God. It is over. And that's why I'm wearing the shades tonight. My eyes have been burned out of my sockets, and my soul has been burned out of my being for the last 3 months doing taxes. And as you guys know, I'm a tax bro. So thank God it is now ending, and I can once again be a free man. And next week, we have Holy Week in the Orthodox Church, particularly the Russian one. And so I'm going to take a week break after this, which is why I'm making this today. But I want to make sure I do my part to get the word out about this, because this is an important day coming up. And it's going to be a good opportunity for us to come together and for us to, I think, celebrate something which is important, which is self-custody of your funds, which is what crypto is ultimately all about to begin with. It's all about getting money in your possession, and getting money in your possession that other entities like central banks can't steal the value of. And they can't steal from you otherwise, because it's not, locked up at a bank. It's not locked up somewhere where they can take it, right? It's truly your money. You got your seed phrase, and with Monero, what's great is nobody knows you have it, which makes it better than Bitcoin. But we've had those conversations. Let's focus on what's going on here on April 18th. Now, this bro says April 14th. Got to get with the picture, but this guy's got a number of followers, almost 50K followers, spreading the word about the quote-unquote bank run. Now, I'm not advising a bank run necessarily, but he talks about how the Monero community is planning on the 18th for everybody to take their Monero off the exchanges. Many people are going to these exchanges, ones that aren't frozen up yet, as we'll get to then get whatever Monero they have in their wallets there and take it to, I don't know, something like Cake Wallet, sponsor the channel. Thank you, Cake Wallet. One of the greatest, if not the greatest, Monero wallet there is. And with Cake Wallet, it's great. I mean, if you got Bitcoin, if you've got Litecoin, you can exchange on the wallet itself, and you can get Monero from that way without having to go on one of these centralized exchanges, which is fantastic. And by the way, they actually just added Haven too, which is pretty cool. But let's talk about what is going on with these exchanges, because this is super, super weird. What we're seeing here, Polynex, customer support, they had said yesterday, XMR has been disabled for maintenance. We will update this thread when it has been re-enabled. So that's one exchange. And Monero Bro, Monero Man, he says paper trading period. And then somebody else comments, you have no Monero, just admit it. And then brother Mike Custom Tech, friend of the channel, he says everyone knows it. They don't have the Monero. And this was something that was somewhat contentious, actually, in the Monero community. I had done a poll, goodness, I think it was 7-8 months ago, is when we did that Monero price manipulation video. And I had asked everybody, I was like, hey, do you guys think that there is manipulation going on with the price? Because many people were frustrated, obviously. We were in a crypto bull market, and Monero wasn't really doing that much. And so people were like, what is going on? Like first off, the super hyper mega bullish case is becoming ever more obvious by the day. But secondly, typically Monero follows to some degree the price movements of the general market. Why is it just kind of sticking around? And so I had done this poll, and half of all of you guys had said there is manipulation going on, but the other half was a little bit more skeptical. They had said, well, you're just saying that there's manipulation going on because the price isn't doing what you want it to do. Oh, well, people are interested in Web3 or they're interested in DeFi. People came up with a lot of reasons. It was a hot debate, but I think there are more people now looking at what we're seeing here, and they're saying, yeah, there's something going on, dude. And Seth for Privacy has come out, very respected in the Monero community. And by the way, if you don't follow Seth for Privacy, you're missing out on like free tuition, okay? This guy's got the best tweets ever on Monero. Super educational. I love it. But he says, looking more and more, did I lower my screen? He says, looking more and more like exchanges are paper trading Monero and lying about how much they have to customers. Opt out, get those keys off the exchanges, and actually own your Monero. And he had shared a tweet by John Foss, who is the author of Monero Moon. It's a good publication. Check it out. He says, fixed float. Don't offer the buy Monero option anymore. Doesn't. You can only sell Monero for other crypto. So you can only sell your Monero, but you can't buy it. What does that mean? It means that they're trying to get liquidity, guys. They want you to get your Monero. And their idea is, well, if we can't get people to take it off the exchanges and we don't have people buy it, then that means we can get more Monero coming in, right? That's the idea. And so why would they have that incentive structure set up? Well, it's because they need Monero. I think they got caught on a short, because that's what you do when you've got like a paper Monero scheme. If you continue to lend it out to people and you don't have it, that's basically a naked short. And if people start to really pull this stuff off the exchanges and you get caught in that naked short, you could find yourself in a lot of trouble. Because then like a game theory kicks in with all these exchanges, and then they have to go into the market and they have to buy this stuff. But who knows what is going on with these exchanges? If these exchanges don't want Monero to really boom, because maybe you've got people on the boards of these exchanges who understand the threat of Monero really to the power structure, because Monero is totally private. It really promotes self-sovereignty, unlike any other cryptocurrency. You've got peer-to-peer mining pools. It's the most decentralized cryptocurrency there is. I mean, seriously, it is the biggest threat crypto-wise to the power structure. And so if you've got this short squeeze going on and Monero starts to rocket up in price, people are going to look at that and be like, whoa, what's going on here? And then they're going to look into it. They're going to connect the dots that we've connected here on the channel with the super hyper mega bullish case. And then they're going to be like, whoa, not only is this like a crazy good trade, it passed some Fibonacci sequence or something, I need to get into this stuff because this is a great fundamental, position and trade. And so that could start a whole chain reaction. If you have a big short squeeze, Monero starts going freaking hypernuclear. And so they could be in a position where it's like, okay, I don't want to, spark some kind of thing here where we've got to get into the market and start buying up all this stuff, because that's going to incentivize more people to buy the stuff and take it off the exchange. And so it turns into a mess. So I think they're trying to walk a tightrope here where they're trying to manage the situation by doing things like this, making it so that you can't buy it, but you can only sell it. And so we're seeing that with fixed float. And Binance, I think about a week ago, had shut off Monero withdrawals, which isn't the first time, by the way. This has happened actually multiple times. There's a history of this. This has been going back for about a year. But they had frozen the withdrawals again. And that makes you wonder, right? Why are they doing this? Why are other exchanges doing this? Because they say it's maintenance. We're just fixing. Well, what's the problem? There hasn't been a fork with Monero. Everything's normal here. Has TradeOker had to do maintenance on the exchanges? I don't think so. Cake Wallet, everything's been great with Monero, hasn't it? I mean, let me know, Cake Wallet. I haven't had any problems with your service. No maintenance for the Cake Wallet. So why are these exchanges in particular, these very centralized KYC exchanges, why are they having trouble? Makes you wonder, right? So they started back up withdrawals, Binance, and then what happened a short time after? They shut it down again. Now, why did they do that? I don't know, but again, makes you very skeptical of what's going on here, and people are catching on, like Seth for Privacy, like John Foss. Kevin Wadd's been on the scene forever talking about this stuff. He's being totally vindicated. So, yeah, guys, the 18th is the day. Whatever centralized exchange there is, for your fiduciary safety, I would just say. Not even because we're wanting to do a bank run necessarily. We're not trying to do anything harmful to these exchanges. We're not trying to conspire in some kind of way. We're just trying to promote self-sovereignty and give people safety tips, really, as to how it is you cannot be screwed by these people who seem to be doing some funny things, allegedly. We're not making any claims. We're just very curious. And so there's sort of the spirit in the air that, maybe an audit check is in order here. So this is on Reddit. This stuff is going all over the place. MONERUN, that's what it's called. To new members and those at the back, MONERUN, self-custody is the only way. And so this stuff is getting out. Who made this post? Blue Worm. Thank you, Blue Worm. I want to make sure I properly cite. And then Sem, he says, Binance blocked withdrawals again for quote-unquote maintenance. If withdrawals can be blocked, it's not your money that's stored. Exactly. It's all about self-sovereignty, guys. Just get your Monero off the exchanges, protect your value and your coins, all for this idea. But probably have the same thought that most other people in the subreddit have. Does anyone here actually keep Monero on the exchanges? Right. And some people do. I think some people do. But with this kind of stuff going on, more people are going to be incentivized, certainly, to not do that. I'd imagine most Monero on exchanges are held by short-term traders who trade via technical analysis. Could be. Ever more reason why Havana is going to be great, because you're going to be able to trade with other cryptos totally privately and totally in a decentralized way. And you're not going to have this funny stuff go on that, maybe makes your trade less profitable, you could say. So, yeah, that's really all I want to say. Oh, and by the way, Mr. Ape from the channel, what's up, Ape? 5 reasons to self-custody your Monero. This isn't about short squeezing. This isn't about price. This is ultimately about securing your value. This is ultimately about financial responsibility, you could say. Centralized exchanges are unsafe. Centralized exchanges are seen as honeypots and prime targets for hackers. Mt. Gox, Bitfinex, Qcoin, all examples. Paper Monero, a non-transparent ledger, makes it easy for centralized exchanges to issue Monero that doesn't actually exist. Centralized exchanges will limit withdrawals when their actual supply is low. Allegedly. We don't know for sure what's going on, but all the evidence seems to point to that being the case. Exposure to confiscation. New government regulations can call for confiscation of any asset or an asset. Centralized exchanges are highly likely to comply. Example, Executive Order 6102. And I believe they're referring there to the 1933 Executive Order by Roosevelt that made it so that banks essentially confiscated people's gold at the banks and gave them a certain fixed price, and then the government screwed everybody thereafter by changing the price from $20 to $35. So there is a precedent for that. They will screw you. Preservation of privacy. Keeping coins on a centralized exchange allows them to monitor your current holdings, purchases, trades, etc. And we have seen OFAC blacklist addresses on exchanges for Monero. Now they're on exchanges. So if you have your Monero on an exchange and OFAC starts to look at you not exactly in an attractive way, well then you could get your address essentially blacklisted and your Monero confiscated. I think that's a thing. I think that could happen. So beware of that. Just take it off, guys. I mean, come on. If you're watching this channel and you keep your Monero on the exchanges, allow me to give you the stink eye for a sec. Come on, dude. Come on, bro. Get with the program. Prioritization of financial sovereignty, your keys, your coins, your control. Self-custody allows for individual financial empowerment. Exactly, which is what Monero is all about. We want to empower you. So that's about it. So it's a short report here from Monero Bro Matteo, and My Monero Bros out there, the Monero Bro Battalion, this is a chance to step up and play your part by getting your Monero off the exchanges and making it so that we promote the culture of self-ownership and self-sovereignty. So that's about all for this video. Hope you guys enjoy yourself for the 18th. And I also wanted to just include this private super chat from Tommy Anderson. Thank you, Tommy, for the donation. And by the way, again, if you want to do a private super chat, if you want to do like a little shout out here on the channel, you can send me some Monero, you can send me some pirate chain, send a message through the Proton Mail or pirate chain, which is a cool feature of that, or Xano Concealed Network. Nobody sends anything through that. But if you want to, whatever, then you can send me a Proton Mail, I'll give you a shout out. So Tommy said, when Vays, and if you haven't seen our our debate between Laverde and Tone Vays, Vays is Tone Vays, okay, asked how many people use Tor, a more fair question would be how many here use a VPN, right? Because Tone was trying to set up this argument that said, well, what's the value of Tor if nobody really uses it? Yeah, it's good technology, it could keep you private, but ultimately, if you don't have that network effect and people aren't using it, then, I mean, what's the value of it? And he's trying to compare that with Monero and saying Monero doesn't have value, even though it's very private because nobody really uses it, which isn't true. Tommy here is saying that Monero is more like a VPN. And from the statistics that I've read, it's like, 40% of everybody on the internet uses a VPN. Now, those numbers should be up, but that's where we're at. 40% of the people on the internet use the VPN and value their internet privacy, right? I think it's like a $30 billion a year industry, VPNs. So with Monero at a market cap of about $4 billion, and given that we're dealing with financial information, which is one of the most sensitive types of information, not just your internet traffic history, but what you're doing with your actual money, what you actually own, I think just on that basis, Monero is incredibly undervalued. But Tommy goes on to say, vastly more people have used a VPN compared to Tor, since VPNs are advertised everywhere. Between 30 to 50% of the people in the U.S. have used one. Depending on what stats you trust, the need for some level of privacy is definitely in the mainstream consciousness. Absolutely. I mean, how many people use Signal? How many people got off WhatsApp when they realized that there were compromises on that made your privacy not pretty much existent on WhatsApp? People switched to things like Signal. People went to more private options. So people care about their privacy. It's just how easy is that privacy to attain? People don't really care about the privacy with Bitcoin because it's just basically impossible. Why even go through the effort, right? And that's why we're trying to bring people to Monero. I mean, all the Bitcopers, they want to be like, oh, well, you can get privacy with 50,000 pages of PhD reading of my privacy guide, but nobody wants to do that. I mean, nobody wants to deal with all that. And the Lightning Network, by the way, is not that private. We're going to do a video on that. Seth for Privacy has some pretty good tweets on that, and I found some other good information as well. So we'll get on that, but yeah, I mean, in regards to privacy, just use Monero. It's plug and play. It's easy. And that's what we want to encourage people to use, because the more people that use this stuff, the bigger the anonymity set, and the bigger the circular economy grows, and the more robust the circular economy is. So I think that's all I want to say. Monero Matteo. Check out the social media below, the donation links. Thank you for the donations that continue to come in. Salute to you guys for supporting the channel. And I'm going to be gone for the next week. It's Holy Week, and I failed in my effort to stay off social media throughout Lent, so this is my chance to try to at least redeem myself for the end of Lent. So I hope that you Ortho Bros or Christians out there who are celebrating Lent, actually I think it's Easter for a lot of you guys tomorrow. So happy Easter if you are celebrating that tomorrow. God bless you. And I hope it's an opportunity for you to come back to the church a little bit and to reorient your spirit and to reorient your value structure so that you realize what's really important, which is Christ, your family, your friends, and the people around, and the wonderful world that we live in, really. So that's all I got to say. Monero Matteo. I will see you guys the week after next. God bless. Take care.